I'm going to take you back to Berlin. And can you talk a little bit about your life with Elsa and with the rest of your family in Berlin? What kinds of things did you do together? How were you of support to each other?
I mean, what kind of life in Berlin?
Yes.
Well, I think it was, until the Hitler time, it was a good life. Like I said, my dad was well off. My mother had help in the house. I had, like you do here for young kids, I had dancing lessons, like ballet class. We would go all the time to museums. I had like a birthday party today, only with a bunch of little kids, and I just think it was it was a very good life till the Nazis came, and it became gradually worse and worse and worse.
And prior to the time that the Nazis came, how much time did you spend with relatives, with cousins, with friends?
Well, like I told you about my grandma who lived across the street. She came over quite often because she could walk over, and my mother's two sisters, they came often, and then with the Anker family, with Heinz and Hilda, the ones you talked to, we would have birthday parties together. We would, they schlepped us to all the museums. That was supposed to give us culture, I guess. And I think so. Well, I was a very good athlete. I didn't tell you that.
No, you didn't.
And I was a runner in the Jewish school. In the public school, girls didn't really do that. But in the Jewish school, we had, I think they wanted to make us strong too, to maybe if we left it, we would survive. And, I ran in relay races always, and because my last name was Anker, if you know about relay, the last person is the anchor man, so I usually was the last one. And in the summer we went always to Danzig, to Sopwith on the Baltic Sea, and I learned to swim there in the ocean. My sister Eva really was a better swimmer, I think, but I made my certificate that I could,
Like
that
a
I was
lifeguard?
safe, yeah. And but mainly I loved sports, all kinds of sports, and even here when I was a runner in Los Angeles. I ran in a lot of 5Ks and 10Ks, and my granddaughter's a triathlon person.
And you worked at the Olympics?
Yeah, and here I was an interpreter for the German team in 1984 in LA. Was the Olympics, and that was a very wonderful experience. And of course, these were sort of reminded me of Nazis. They were these big athletes, but I remember part of my job was to take this guy. He was one of the best 100-meter runners. I forgot his name, from the German team, and he asked me if I would take him around and show him Los Angeles a little bit. I was married already at the time, and I did do that. I took him to the beach. Oh, he wanted to go to the nude beaches. And I said, "You got the wrong person. I don't know where that is." But, that was a real good experience. And I remember and the guy from the press, the German press, he wasn't Jewish, but he said, in German, "Why do you speak such good German? You don't have an accent." I said, well, I didn't want to really tell him. I said, well, that's where I was born. And then he asked me, "Are you Jüdisch? Are you Jewish?" I said, "Yes, I am." And then he wanted to know, did you suffer a lot? This was, a guy much, much younger. He was alive. He never experienced that time. So that kind of struck me. He really wanted to know. And I figured, I'm going to tell you what happened. But he also asked me, do you hate us? I said, no, I don't hate you. I hated your parents, but not you. Or grandparents, probably.
I'm going to back up a little bit and then jump ahead. I want to talk a little bit about how you met your husband. And
Well, I met him on a New Year's Eve party, and he started, I don't really know why we started talking, and then there were a lot of other UCLA students, and I was already a graduate. So later he told me, I figured if you graduated, you can't be too stupid.
was he at UCLA?
Yeah, he
also
was.
at the time?
He went to the University of Illinois.
Uh-huh.
He was in World War II. He fought in Germany, actually. He was quite interested in me, what had happened to me, and he got a PhD in psychology. He went undergrad at Illinois, and he was on the GI Bill of Rights, and also he had. So he got his tuition paid, and otherwise he told me his parents, I'm sure, could not have sent him to grad school. So, the GI Bill was a wonderful thing. And also our first house, we lived in Reseda, which is, a little town. And there were all these houses built by one guy. They all looked alike, so to speak. And we could buy a house because he had the GI Bill. And you could buy a house with no money down. Only whatever you had, like maybe $200.
How do you think your experiences as a child have shaped you into who you are today?
Well, I think for one thing it made me more tolerant. And I know when I first started teaching in the inner city, some people, not so nice, would say, why do you teach well, that was all black at that time, because it became more Hispanic. I said, because I think I should do something good. Besides, it was very difficult to get a job in, like say near UCLA and West LA. They had teachers, they didn't need them, and they needed us in the inner city. And after a few years, you were supposedly to go back. You could go back to, like, near my house in the valley, which, was probably much nicer. But by that point, I really liked it down there. And I made friends. I had some black friends, and I think I helped those kids.
My guess is you made a difference in a lot of people's lives.
Well, I
Hilda.
hope so.
Yeah. And I also see you as a really strong woman, and my guess is that also came from your experiences in Germany and in England.
Yeah, I think whatever, what you experience, they experience, that shapes your life, And well, I also think some people can become depressed, But I give my parents a lot of credit. They were always up. And no, you can't get depressed, I mean, that's not what they said, but that's what I felt. And actually, when you think about the Holocaust, I am very lucky. So many children like me didn't make it. So, I always felt I should do something with my life.
What are you doing now with your life?
I'm in Colorado.
Right this minute you are, but when you're at home.
Well, I try to do something every day. To me, the family is very important. That's one thing. And like holidays, I like that they come to my house, so I can go to theirs. But nowadays, like George lives pretty far, my other son also, but the middle son lives a mile or so. But I'm happy when they come to my house now, even though it's work to maybe make dinner for all these people, but they all help.
So family is very important.
That's
you
a very-
also, yes, you also told me you did some volunteer work.
Yeah, I'm like now that the summer is coming, I work in the Hollywood Bowl, which is, they have music, classical music, they have jazz, they have rock. But during the day, they have a program for children if they're about 4 years old to maybe 12 at the oldest. And they it's not the same concert, but they have special concerts for them. And afterwards, like say it's Spanish music, then they'll have an arts and crafts that would go, like maybe they make castanets or something. And I don't have to think of the project, but like I would have been in a school, a teacher's aide, but it's all voluntary. It's a lovely place to work.
So you're still helping people.
And you
Yeah.
tell about how you teach English.
Yeah, I teach English in my synagogue. I'm pretty active in the synagogue. I go once a week to Torah study, and
You teach English
to Russian immigrants and Iranians, and mainly they're Jewish. They don't have to be Jewish. It's in a temple, but I have had some non-Jews, but mostly they're Russian Jews. But they didn't really know they were Jewish. They couldn't practice. But
Do you know some Russian?
I don't know any. They have to. Like sometimes they're sitting, and they're starting. I said no, English only, and they're really nice, and they're so appreciative that we do that. And one guy, Gersh, Lewin is his name. He's been in my class 20 years.
He's a slow learner.
He never gets any. But it's a social thing. Mainly they talk English. They tell me what they did and what vacation they had, and
Wonderful. One more thing, and then I think we're going to stop.
yeah, because it's dark out.
I know it's dark out, and we got to go home soon. You said you were a runner, and now I think you're a walker. Is
Right.
that correct? Okay. And how far do you walk every day?
It's about 3.2 miles. It's Lake Hollywood, and if you're familiar on the hills, it says it's the Hollywood sign. It's a famous sign, and below that is the reservoir, but we call it a lake. And we meet there every morning at 7:30, and all the people I walk with, I just met there, through the years. Jack, he's now 92. He can't walk anymore, but he's a Pearl Harbor survivor.
Well, you are a real inspiration.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I thank you for doing that. That's a good cause.